I wanted to talk a little bit about heaven. And as you guys know, Revelation in the Bible is something that I'm very interested in because I feel like we are in that time frame. And that's where we pretty much are in the body of Christ. And this world is about to wrap up. So I'm getting more interested in heavenly things and everything like that. And I was really curious about the different stones and colors and different things like that in heaven. Um, Especially when they talk about the New Jerusalem in heaven. Simply because I want to say maybe 5 months ago, or possibly 4, the Lord, I had a dream where I saw my colored gown and my colored crown. And I found that to be very, very interesting. I won't go into details of everything that happened in the dream, but I know that I was entering a church. And you know, like the church doors when you go in, and then there's like a long aisle, and then there is the pulpit. And immediately when I came into the church, the pastor began to prophesy, and he told me some things that God had already shared with me. And he confirmed this in the dream. And I won't go into details of that. But as this pastor was prophesying to me, I happened to see at the altar a folded up gown and a big crown sitting on top of it, waiting for me. And when I saw it, it was so beautiful. It was like an experience I can't even describe because these colors were so beautiful. I want to describe the color to the best of my ability because the natural colors that we see with our naked natural eye doesn't even compare to the spiritual colors that we can see in heaven. But the closest color that my gown and crown was, I saw what looked to be like a red burgundy wine type of color. And then my crown, it wasn't, because I know that there are different types of crowns and different things like that in heaven. And I didn't really take an interest in it until I actually saw mine. And my crown, it was that same burgundy red wine looking color, but the diamonds in my crown, it was like it was a big crown. I don't know if it was it was big. It was big. It was not a small crown, and it was not just one solid. It was a solid color, but it was different variations of that wine color. It's hard to describe. It was like the same color as my gown, but the diamonds in my crown were different variations of the color, the burgundy red wine type of color. It was kind of, some were dark, some were lighter, it was just beautiful, and they all looked different. It's hard to describe. Okay, so I found a crown that is kind of similar to what I saw. I have all diamonds, and this is not exactly like my crown, but I know it was big like such. And it's totally different, but I'm just trying to give you an idea how big my crown was. And let's just say I did have all these diamonds just like this, but they were the color that I was telling you guys about. It was the color I was telling you about, but different variations of that same color, but they were all uniquely different colors of that color. And it was big. It was big, but it was shaped differently. It was big like this, but it was shaped different. But this is how my crown, how big it was. It was big, and it's just an honor and a privilege and a blessing to be able to be shown that. And God, he can show, all of you guys can see this stuff. He just chose to show me. You know, I'm no different from nobody else. I'm the same as you, and he can show you guys as well. But I'm just so honored that he showed me this. But this is the best picture I could use to show you guys what I was talking about. But when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's really interesting that God would show me my crown and my gown. It was just neatly folded up, like I said, waiting on me at the altar as I was being prophesied to about some things that are personal. And I just found that to be interesting. So, of course, I began to look into, you know, other people getting crowns or receiving crowns in heaven, and if God has shown other people their crowns, and he has shown some people their crowns and colors or whatever. But I took an interest to that, like I said, after I saw it, and I began to study in Revelations a lot. But what I find to be interesting is the New Jerusalem, where God is talking about the colors and the different layers in heaven. And I began to think, I'm like, okay, with all these colors in heaven, I'm like, okay, maybe whatever color our crown is, that's the section where we're going to be in heaven. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm just at this point, I'm just guessing that maybe there's a correlation depending on what color crown we have and gown we have. That's going to determine what side or what part in heaven that you're going to be in. And then I also got to thinking about possibly our color crowns and gowns also maybe in correlation to the 12 disciples, because in heaven, of course, you all know that the 12 disciples that was with Jesus 12 disciples, they have their own section. They have the 12 foundations is for them, the 12 apostles. And I'm like, okay, well, also what would be interesting is like, what if we are going to be, depending on what our callings are and our giftings are, what if we're all going to be paired together? Like for instance, you know, Peter and Paul and all of them, what if our gifts are similar to theirs? And what if we all are going to be sectioned off according to our gifts? That's where we'll be. Like, because I know that with each foundation and the color of that foundation is in correlation to his apostles, and whatever color that is, I think maybe one of the apostles had that particular color, and maybe we will be assigned that color is because we're going to be in that same section. If y'all hear anything in the background, like I told you guys before, that is a fragrance that goes off every 20 or 30 minutes or whatever. But what if we are going to be sectioned off depending on our gifts, if our gifts were similar to the 12 apostles? Like, what if? Now, what I found interesting when I was searching the different colors, they had, and actually I'm going to pull that up. First of all, let's just hear what this guy is saying. I don't know how to get it to play.
Is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars, shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And there came unto me one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials full of the 7 last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God. And her light was like unto a stone, most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city, and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof. And the city lieth foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. And he measured the wall thereof, 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is, of the angel. And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass. And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third a chalcedony, the fourth an emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the 8th beryl, the 9th a topaz, the 10th a chrysoprasus, the 11th a jacinth.
That's my
the 12th
color.
an amethyst. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of 1 pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass.
Now that's what I wanted to talk about. Now, even though I was saying that my color was red, burgundy, wine color, this color here that he said, the Janeth, or however you pronounce that, please forgive me. That was my color. When I looked up these stones, now I'm going to look up, look. Actually, hold on, let me go to the different, sorry, I can barely see with this light flashing. Different stones in the Bible. I'm going to put in Revelation. Now, if you guys look, and these are the colors that he was just talking about. Now, remember, if I could just get this to, I cannot get this angled right, but this color right here, that's the color my crown and gown was. This color here. So, and that was the 11th color in heaven. Now it was in my crown. It was this color, but it was different variations of this color. It's hard to describe, and it's hard to believe that there are different versions of this color. Like some was lighter, it was this color, but lighter, some darker, it was just that color. And like I said, my crown was one of those big crowns, not the little ones. I know some people said that their crown was all gold. Some people may say that they had like, it was a little big, but not really big. But I know mine was really big. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, that's amazing how mine's look. That, I mean, he chose that color for me. And I began to be curious about it. And I'm like, well, does that determine what side of the gate? Are we going to be on the east, north, west? Are we going to be in certain sections? Is it going to depend on our gifts and calling? I just began to get curious about it, you guys. I just thought that this was pretty interesting. And just wanted to share with you all to get excited about heaven, because we all have a reward in heaven. We all have crowns and gowns in heaven, and they may look different, but they're very unique for us. Like he handpicks our colors. He makes it out like it's like especially specifically designed just for you. He's very intricate in the way that he makes things for you. It's like for you. It fits you. It's just for you. It's for nobody else. And he designs your crown and your gown different. And I just wanted to share that video. Like, you guys, get excited about heaven and what we have up there that's waiting on us. I don't necessarily know why God showed me that. I guess he wanted me to get extra excited about his return and what I have in heaven. I don't know why he showed me my gown and my crown, but I just felt like that was so awesome. Also, I want y'all to see the 12 apostles here. And do you see how there's a different color for each of the apostles, the 12 apostles? And I wonder why each of them have a different color. So that made me curious, is symbolic to the side and an area that I'm going to be in heaven. And I noticed that Peter, no, that's not Peter. Where is that color I was talking about? Where is that color I was talking about? Where is that color? I don't see it. I don't see it, but maybe this is just something that this person just attached the color. Let's see. Maybe they're just attaching their names to the color that they think belongs to them. I'm not sure. But y'all, get curious about heaven. Get curious about your crowns, your gowns, because we all have them. Everybody who belongs to Christ, we all have them. And I just thought that I would share. Y'all, get excited about heaven. Get excited about your gifts. Let me know below, has God spiritually shown you your crown? If so, share the color and everything like that. What do you feel? Do you feel like we're going to be placed in different areas in heaven? And do you think that depending on our gifts, if it's similar to the 12 apostles, are we going to be placed there where each of their foundation is in heaven? Or do you think that I'm just talking outside of my neck and just overexcited and I'm in over my head? Just let me know below. And I thank you guys for listening and watching this video. And until the next time, ciao. God bless. Bye-bye.